And I well understand, daughters, the lessons of the mother deeply was also kept in mind. 12th Lawrence of Camp. Beth was the postmaster. Most day at home. 2. I was able to go to the station to decide the time. Open the small door in the key. I come to take the mail. Because hand out of it was like July of a day of it. Beth returned suffer the full mail to both hands. Was handed out to the house. Mom. Yes. Okay. Hey, not there be Rory as you forget even once. And say. Beth was pointing to a vase of Mom. The Meg sister. The letter is a single glove, single whiff. Meg, sitting next to the mother, but had painted the cuffs of the shirt. Oh, not Pom come down to 2. The garden came forget both. No, there was only single whiff of the post office. I'm nothing like single whiff. But you will find single whiff to them. I have your letter. Only entered that was translated the German song. I did surely yourself as Brooke teacher. The Jaw Drive. Letter 2 copies. 1 book. This is. Funny old hat. Hat so large. Was not protrude from the post office. Beth to the jaw. That is what something written in Shohitoshi told me with a laugh. Well, unpleasant Rory's. How much hope from burning to me the day as a large hat impatient. Not to fashion something mind. Because he told me please fog big hat. I've such wear. If any. Right on. Wearing me. I'll show it not to fashion something mind. Quote. Hooked a bust beside the hat. I began to read the letter. It is a letter from the mother. Miss eyes shone with joy. Love Jaw. You. To see that strives suppress a tantrum. Mother has delighted you. The attempt. Fail. Do not say anything about the success. I would like to help you every day. The addition of God. Nobody will come to think it not seen. But, mother also is looking no korazu. And, because it is likely conclusion is fine real. It can be seen that your mind is from the sincerity you. Oh daughter love, please through spear brave strongly patience. Mother is, that you have attracted the sympathy to you. Please always believed. Quote. Well, I'm happy. Million yen got in plenty happy then be praised. I mother is would like to help those. We'll do me, miss, because lie down the face. We have wet the manuscript with joy tears. Barely miss this welcome letter mentioned the face. Going to the shield of preventing the enemy to come hit unexpectedly. Out of the jacket was stopped at the crocodile pin. Another letter was from Rory. Hi, dear Joes. Tomorrow, because the British boys and girls will come 23 people. I want to play interesting. Tara weather is good. Tent went to Long Meadow in the boat. Eat lunch created that to the you mean that. Bonfire play cooking croquet from. Going to do to like jit pushy. In all good people. I like that kind of thing. Brooke teacher and together. To us and the boy of the director. Kate Bogans should be cracked down on the girl. Everyone should by all means come. Worry of food is useless. And all prepared in the better of me. Right hasten. Your permanent friend Rory. Quote. And it's nice. Miss Screaming rushed to inform the Meg. Mother. You might want to say. I survive even Rory if you go. It burned me boat. To Meg can take care of your lunch. Tatsuwat to something useful dat Emmy and Bess. People of Bogan. I know good if there is no smell adult. Know that? That of those people, said. We say that Meg. I only know that the brother and sister 4 people. Kate is older than you. Fred and Frank Futaji is about me. Grace would be 10 or 9. Rory is. You went met with the people and foreign. Siblings gonna seem like the boy out of. But Rory is likely not very like Kate. Quote. Meg and Joe. We discussed to wear clothes. Because the camp was decided to be the ones that may be made to the crumpled. Miss? Now. With Saidashi. In today. Let's double the work. Tomorrow. So play with peace of mind. To say that. I went to take a broom. The following day. The promised good weather. When your day sama except for the daughters of the room. Where the daughters had been the shitaku of fun excursions. Beth. And spoofing the quickly shitaku. Went to Midagiwa. The state of the neighbor. Was not known constantly. Oh, I am filled with obeno. Oh, Rory is, and the like a sailor's working. Before long, we have everyone's shitaku, miss? Fogging the old straw hat that Rory was tossing half-joke. I tied a red ribbon to see it, and Meg say please stop, miss? I, by far wearing to go to. I mean, to become awnings and large lightly. Everyone amused all, and, say, went out with calm. Following that, we went a platoon of 3 young daughters glamorous. Rory is. The platoon came over was introduced to a friend of his. Lawn becomes a sitting area. It has been spread as hilarious scene in there. Everybody mind becomes easier. We talked unreservedly immediately. Tents and lunches. With such a tool of croquet. Because carried a earlier. One line has left the shore boarded the 2 ships of the boat. Lawrence said, was waving a hat standing on the shore. Rory and Miss rowing in boats. Ned Brooke teachers and college students. Was rowing the better of another ship. Funny had of Miss. Eased the mood to laugh everyone. And rowing the boat, to the collar was to occur flapping to cool wind. If you ask the lock. If mentioned in the shower. It'll put everyone it was likely to be. Meg. But I had been riding in another boats. For Brooke teacher and Ned. In the joyful presence. The youth of the 2 men. Because there are Meg. Was rowing the boat more good than usual. When attached to the long meadow. Another tent is affixed. To the croquet. Iron wheels were as attached. There is. Feeling of a good green fields. In the middle. Trees 3 of oak. Beams branches wide. Lawn to the croquet it is. Had been crowded harvest clean. Camp Lawrence bonsai. Quote. Everybody, when you landed with a voice of joy, we say is Rory. The Brooke teacher commander. I commissary commissioner. Everyone else is the staff. Then, customers person of the woman is. The tent is for you. Which was stretched in particular. The drawing room is the place of the tree of oak. Here but the dining room. There is the kitchen. While not too hot. Doing the game. Then, let's get ready for a feast. Frank. Beth, Emmy, then Grace sat down on the grass. In addition to the 8 people have started to croquet. Brooke teacher Megan, Kate and Fred and sets. Rory was set Sally, Joe, and Ned. Everyone enthusiastic. They fight terribly. For a while. Did not know let's loose witches win. In the meantime, Fred, because nobody was not close. So nice out of myself. I rolled the balls in the previous shoes. And I went. Now, Joe, lend wearing you. I'm number 1. I said, was good. Joe is. Toward the sly Fred, was Yarakashi. And we fight for a while. We were able to finally win. Rory, which was woven a hat. Noticed and do not pleased with was defeated customers. I told Joe become undertone. ULL was Erica. He did fake. I was looking it. Cannot be I'll say in front of everyone. I would not do it again. Meg also attracted a constant pretending to fix the hair. Or else in the face like that I was impressed. Really, it was a scepter. But I was often holding back. I was happy. I do not praise. Meg. I much want Haradabashi him of the side of faced at now. At that time and a little more. I tantrums ball was likely to rupture. Said Joe. Was glared at Fred. Out the clock. It was Brooke teacher is good. Come on. Let's obeno. Commissary commissioner. You or to cause of fire. Please or to bear the water. Since the preparation of the table at the Mach's and Sally's and with me. Someone coffee very well do not you have people who are have. Quote. It's just good. Said Meg has recommended the sister happy. Joe is. These days. Since the lessons of cuisine, while I think undertaken this kind of honorable role, took to get ready. In the meantime, the boys caused the fire. Came in partnership with water from a nearby fountain. Commander and his men quickly spread the table over. Arranging the food and drink was decoration in the green of the leaves. If it is coffee-making facilities, we're at everyone's seat. Shoku-yoku was a prosperous. Truly fun, big laughter that often occurs. We surprised a docile horses are eating grass nearby. When the meal is completed, until cool. Now that going to something play, we move the shadow of the tree of oak, namely the seat, to the guest room. Kate was referred to as the Astory. Try to talk. Is it good? Someone is gonna start a selfish talk. Then, continue as you like. Interesting that in place. Gonna would cut the pootsu. Then, the next person is continued it. In Jungo and sad and funny and talking. I funny become confused. Is, in, please from you, I said, because Kate was said, in a tone such as instruction. Began the Brook teacher. Once upon a time, night of some one person came out on a journey going to succeed in life. Brook teacher. Spoke in a rich imagination. This knight also continued the journey 28 years. If you go to a royal palace, the horse that the king has not become still, was charged well to a person. It has been said by me and give the reward. Therefore, the knight in order to teach the horse, my date, and have been riding around the princess's beautiful castle, trapped because of magic, in order to make the money to be free. It has spun a yarn, I know that. Night, because poverty. No money, because there is no way. I cut my story as to wait and after, and hit the door of the castle. The continued it. Kate, Ned, Meg, Joe, Fred, Sally, Emmy, Raleigh. But was John that frank? Streaks of the story will change indeed, or fell in a hurry, as grave or walked or will be. Where fell neck once you by the key tobacco is found. And I think so, quickly revived. If you dance in the box, it or behalf of the warship, even those who are listening, sometimes laughing, sometimes frown the eyebrows. I thought interesting a story that will change without interminable. When the story is completed, was Sally said. A great deal. It was a strange story. If you practice, it seems it is the better. Well then, play you no Teiyu Sarusu in the future? Quote, what the? Well, everyone keep an overlaid the hand, and decided the figure below. Went except for the hands one after the other. The person who was hit without ka, that is, everything honestly answered the questions of other people. It and funny. Quote, let's do it, I said. Was knew that favorite jaws good. Then, everyone piled up hand, and Gonoy in turn. Was hit is Rory, who hero to your respected, and asked a constant. And grandfather, Napoleon, the woman of the people think that first thing beautiful, Fred? Of course, Joe, of Rory, to countenance such as that commonplace of because laughed everyone suddenly, miss. And a great deal, I questioned that was ridiculous was pursed shoulder to despise. Is trying to do it again. I funny, said, it was Fred is good. This time was the addition of the jaw. And what is your number one big drawback? I asked Fred. Tantrum. The first thing what you want is, quote, we say is Rory, speaking what you want, because it seems to me is Rory. Deliberately. And Shoestring replied. And such no dame is not said to really things. Rory. Genius are you? Do not want me I to the genius, said Joe laughed saying. Among the man of beauty, what is first thing important? Courage and honesty. Then Fred, and now's my turn. He says. Rory is, and do you go to there? So whispered, Miss began to cut immediately. I did not do quack at croquet? Yeah, a little. And want. You have a little while ago asked Tory story. Did not take from this that the sea lions, quote, Rory, some nay, and British people, do you think a complete in all respects, Sally? If you do not think so, the British of their own is embarrassing. It's really the British what with it. Come on now, Sally's edition. And you, do not you think? Tomboy myself, Rory. I terrible, not that kind of woman. And what is number one hate, Fred? Kumoto, rice pudding. And what is love one evening, Joe? Dancing in French gloves. At that time, Joe is and shook his head. Boring play. The writer Trump than that. Do not do funny. While the Ned and Frank and small girls are playing to join. Older three people told sat down away from there. Kate, oysters and again taken out a sketchbook. Meg. Brooke teacher looked at it. Was lying down on the grass. Meg, look at the writing of Kate. In the voice of surprise. And would a naughty good. I wish I try and naughty by also, I say. Why, not a relido Keiko. You are there as your genius of the picture. Then, will be the tutor. Kate, because I learned about the tutor. It was referred to as the good and you also learned to tutor. Far from Meg get to tutor. And says that he is going to tell me as a tutor. Kate, well, if that's right, and, we say, the words are, when the thing unpleasant, was the tone, such as say, Brooke teacher, as intercede, American daughter ye, as ancestors was the case. The thing is honored to independently support himself, I said, was good. Kate frowned, but went away. Meg was good while seeing off it. The British people, forgot to despise the woman of the tutor. Brooke teacher, a rather complacent, over therein. You do not say good that man of tutor. Pitiful thing. But than anything, to our working people, there is no place good about America, said. So went Meg himself that the lamented. Now rather shame. Yes, I am glad that I was born in the United States. For this reason, because we are getting a lot of joy. But, if not like to teach like you no matter how good. If was a Rory your students, you also will be fun to teach. Because it must break up with next year Rory. I'm sorry, we'll come to the university. That's right, preparation is made up roughly. If you go as Rory, I will enter the army. Well, nice. Young man single-edged. It was one as for as really to go to the soldier. And mother remain in the house. But sisters would be painful. I is alone. To friends is also small. I would have died, but live it. But nobody is to worry about. You like to worry Rory and grandfather. And, dad who, if Nisare you even in your injury. You sadness. Thank you. I am glad to hear so. Brooke teacher. Also but I kept talking become ambitious. Because Ned came riding a horse. It was not possible to discuss quietly. Only one. There was a fact that surprised the Meg and Joe. It is, Beth, from the single-minded desire to please the people, was a scene that are doing let the story to the poor of the foot Frank. It is, also, even for Frank's sister, by such a surprise. Grace's sister, Frank brothers, I do not know her and Nani laughing. I said, was good. To near grade A. Also, we have a variety of play. Get ready is to do with everyone. Folding the tent. Unplug the iron wheels of croquet. Row boarded the boat, while singing in lifted voice. Went down the river. Ned, become sentimental. Alone, oh, just alone. Us, young and still a year. Everyone at a Takaki heart with, go away cold and why, when, where say, to the deliberately pathetic-ish look. Because I looked at Meg. Meg would burst out laughing in. We have messed up the song. You are? Why I hit hard on me? Today one day. You are not stuck just in that stuffy Englishman. Now I'm treat me in the nose. I know, not like such intention. Because so much Nasaru a funny face with. Ned is angry, in an attempt to obtain the consent of Suri. That person, Suko Shimoi people without Jomi. Not at all. Cute people. Sorry was Kabai while acknowledging the friends of disadvantages. Anyway, it is not a hand at dear the person is. Ned but was going to swanky, was not a big deal pun. Morning. In the lawn of the assembled Lawrence house. Everyone, to each other, was generous farewell and greeting. This is because, Bogan family of people, was because going back to Canada. 4 sisters, but went back to the house through the garden. Kate was looking at the rear view. We say without mixes and tone, such as now cover up. American daughter us but there is a fairly blatant place when we well know, very nice people. Then, we Brooke teacher is good. It is I also agree. 13th beautiful castle in the air. Afternoon. Of a warm day of September Rory is. March family of guys. Even while thinking would have been what? Had been shaken so also a troublesome going to go to sea all the way. just in the hammock. He was grumpy that day. It is unsuccessful to warm because the body felt fatigue. And he gets Azuki the piano brook teacher Supakashi the study harassment. From noon, impair the feeling of the old man. One animal is the dog of the house. Mad was Otakashi the maid to say. That was badly in horse fight and grooms. And uninteresting among the world. Angry pervaded. It jumped into the hammock. But, so beautiful and peaceful. His feelings are Yasumari, and fancy to have indulged. Such as a voyage around the world. Fancy was torn by the human voice. Was about to march home of sisters is going to go out and look. But, always to appearances unlike. Wearing a hat naming large collar. A month-long cane over the return path of the brown shoulder. Meg cushion. Miss this. Beth ladle. Emmy is a paperclip. Have each directly below the party. Missing the garden to quiet. Out the back Keto. Began climbing the hill which is in between the house and the river. I wish terrible. Do not have cannot believe they did. Go on a picnic not invited me. My goodwill to the boat. Okay, I'll take them. And Yukoyo to see what to do. Rory is a lost weather. A good idea to cover up any hat. Terrible looking for the key. And the key is noticed to have entered the pocket. But was chasing after immediately. Rather than appearance of girls. I went to the boat shed but, because not come nobody, I went up to the top. Then, from the shadows of pine trees. Then the sound of the wind. Then the song of the crickets. I came here as more cheerful voice. It's wonderful. Rory was the thought. Such as eyes were cool. Sisters. Sitting in the shade of a tree. The shadow of the sunlight on trees. Was shaking on it. Meg had been sewing. But the pink dress was bright like a rose. Beth. I had soared through the pine cones. Emmy is. I was sketching the fir in one village. And, Miss? While reading a book in a loud voice. I was knitting. This sight caught the hearts of Rory. Rory is. But want to go to buckwheat. Without also was invited. But should return to the house. The house is unbearably lonely. And that cannot go away with it. Squirrel is surprised at his appearance. Issued a sharp voice. His voice. And Beth raised the face. Because there was a lonely likely face of Rory. So reassure. Was beckoned to smile. I also say, do you say? Meg, by lifting the eyebrows, but did the state have a not go? Miss frowned to Meg. Okay, welcome. I was going to invite something play of such a woman. Did I thought boring? I like if you guys play. But if Meg is bad, you return me. I do not have 'em bad. Instead, because the rule that here should not be lazy is, you also must to something. Thank you very much. You anything. 'Cause house is like a boring desert. Rory was happy. Then in between I have you are knitting the heel. You have got to read this book. When the jaw is past this. Rory is. Yes. Reverently answer grateful for the favor that made me enroll in the worker bees meeting. I began reading eagerly. The story is not very long. And Rory is finished reading. In order to get rewards labor. Was issued a 2/3 question. You ask a little, but this beneficial kai, did you can ish new? Sisters looked at each other. You should keep the secret. Or should dawn out? And it also says if the Rory. Everyone was thinking. Joe was called a smile. Yes. The pilgrimage play had come continued from winter to summer. And, on this holiday, I think so is not lazy. But we did enough to do with cook their every man work. Holiday will end soon. Made everyone my normal job and we're glad. By the way, Mom, the me who, because I rash Aru wants to put out to the outside. To bring the work to this hill. Of doing interesting. Quote. Rory was good nodded. Oh, so, I'll return pass for the cane. I'm wearing an old hat. I believe that is the fact of this hill. No says the mountain of joy. All the way. To pass look to the other side. Yes. Because someday appear some countries think that I want to live. Miss? So pointed it. Rory was looked stand up. Blue river. Grassland was spacious. Green mountains of the beyond. gold and purple clouds that trail to the peak. Indeed, there was a thing reminiscent of a heavenly city. And Nanty beautiful I would. Rory was found quickly to the beauty. We of that beautiful scenery, with me our really of the country, could go to where everyone. I think I'm happy, and, if you Beth say, Meg, in a gentle voice, gonna have Arioka, more beautiful country, we, if made in person admirable, gonna go to there, said, was good, something Beth, but we'll go one day, something or working or fighting, in or slip or climb, is not even in the unlikely crazy. When Joda says Rory also, I will be Beth's companion, but if I delayed in its journey, it will keep over friendly words? Beth but seemed troubled or maybe answer what was good in the light-hearted. Dat who, in the feeling you want to go really, life, I think go to the heaven of the capital after continued the journey of effort. After that lasted a while silence was jaws good. I arbitrarily think air castles becomes a thing of the guys really. If you can live there, would be no matter how interesting. Since the sights of the world only I want to see, and settle down in Germany, as much as you want to study music, I become a famous musician. But, I toka's money, business toka also little to no care. I live as you like of yourself. This is a castle in the air that favorite of me. Quote, when the Rory say so, Meg was continued the following. What a variety of luxury is. I say a beautiful house with a lot, delicious food, clean clothes, a fine tool, good people of the feeling, and money is given a bunch. In the house of his wife, do not are lazy with a lot of servants, even, and that good. I want pampered from everyone. Quote, Mr. Frankly, her sister, and friendly husband clever, and have children like an angel. Not Ashara, if it had not been for that, I could not castle in the air of her sister. Said, was good, in your castle in the air, would have not entered only horses and ink pot in a novel. Said Meg has retorted with a little disgruntled, and full entered the stables of Arabian horse, not that good, and the room was piled up a book. If there is a magic ink pot, I may, in the ink pot, much the same as the music of Rory, writing a famous work I'm, before I enter to the castle in the air, something great heroic thing. Well, things like I cannot forget the people also died, to try Taiwan, likely, wrote me this I wish I famous accustomed become rich tay, of it as became to me, I of love fantasy, quote, I is given, and safely live in the father and occasion to issue at home. Is that I'll take care of the people of the house. Said, and Beth say, asked the Rory, in addition, not is something you want, because I got that pretty little piano, you do not have nanny mo hope to the other. Then, you say as Emmy, I can go to Rome a picture on oysters. Wrote what is fine. It is to become the #1 Helluva painter in the world. It is quite ambitious. Other Beth, to be rich, to be famous, because I that would Araku in all respects. And, if Rory say, tablets, standing 10 years from now, and gathered everyone when I live, who has undergone a hope, who let's see how close to hope, said, was good, and then, I number 27 Meg, then, as soon as tablets. Rory and I are 26. Beth 24. Emmy is 22. What everyone, it means that equivalent of your senior. Something so far. I want to be such that the proud, but because it is such a lazy. It would be useless. Hey, Joe, Mom, if there is you something good motivation to, Nasaro surely great, it was Rashi to say. Really, you'll do me. The grandfather. But I want to have to worry about. I'm not. The old man. In the rear next. I'm in accordance with the Indian traders. Although it's my bad. Only go 4 years to the university. I wish I purchased decisions satisfied. Oh, if there is a person who is taking care of the old man. I guess. But I'm out jump the house to tomorrow. Quote, Rory was not overwrought badly care. He has passion of youth, as let's survived aeronomy of the world by the force of their own. It did have, Miss Sympathy, embarked to the sea in your ship. And ho'd I think you want to. I gotta go up tired, I said, was tilting at a favorite fantasy of their own. I was surprised Meg was good. I do not go, Joe. Say Anna that, if intently studying it useless. Your university is also heard such advice, Rory. Grandfather also not say that forever stubborn. You must be sure to fulfill your desire. So, or want loneliness, not frustrated. I may leave to fulfill the ministry of their own. By doing so, such as the Brook teacher, you will be loved as revered by everyone. Quote from it. Meg, Brook teacher, that did his discharge of filial duties until they're with mom, because I do not want to separate from the mother. It was ripple from go to a foreign country as a tutor, and to a nursing mom that is no longer, or even now the grandmother gave me every month. That you have the allowance, such as that had it not tell anyone. Grandfather of Rory is, talk to Meg mom, whether satisfy the fine Brook teacher so as to, and do not have to study well, like a sister. I was let go to Rory. Then, I added this, I'm sorry, sermon or two, but, because the thing that I feel like really brothers are, no say things as I thought. Rory is, I appreciate the kind Meg words. As in the sister, thank you say, my shortcomings. Today I was my bad mood, which was refreshing in. Rory is, trying to as much as possible pleasant. Are doing plaited thread of Meg. As will Yoroko Basso the jaw. Or singing a poem. Are doing it drop the pine cones to Beth. Worker bees meetings are doing to help the sketch of Emmy. Every effort has been made to ensure suitable for membership. In the meantime, the bell to inform the Hannah was heard. It is time that everyone go home. Rory is, I also good to come. Meg, smiling, yeah, and quiet. I wish this is like the familiar. It becomes like, well, come, I'll teach knitting. Scotsman, gonna be knitting and man. Besides, I have a order of the very socks now. That night, but Beth was plays the piano for Lauren's old man. Rory heard by standing it in the shadow of the curtain. Beth of innocent music. Me sunk the feeling of Rory, that of the old man. It did seem keenly miss. Then, while remembering the Meg of the story of the afternoon of that day, it intends to pay the sacrifice willing. And discarded Nanty air castles. Old man once only, forever. I'll have together. The old man, only I just, what I do not rely person, he said, told me a soliloquy. 14th secret. Once in October, also cold becomes severe, since the day stabbing was also shortened. Joe spent a busy day in the roof room, finished the last page, and write the name of their own in the man-readable. It told me to throw out the pen. Come on, resulting, if now useless, must wait until the right better. Will effortlessly to supine on the sofa. Miss carefully reread the manuscript. Here and there, or playing the line, we give them an exclamation point. Then, it was closed in the red ribbon. The roof room of the jaw of the desk was a shelf for an old tin kitchen that is attached to the wall. Miss is squirreled away the original paper or a 2-3 books to among them. Of rats. Ms. Scratchy. I do not ransacked. Scratchy-san, a still literature lover, because now well the original paper and books. Miss, taken out the other one of the original from the tin container, together with the document that has finished writing now, was down the stairs by screwing in the pocket. Then, out of the secretly house. Glue. Indeed happily stopped by the walk of stagecoach. In a likely secret countenance, I went toward the town. Joe came to town, in a large hurry. The bustling street was rushed to a certain address, but began to looking for barely a house, and I'll look at the dirty stairs, but had quietly stopped. Suddenly, also I went home with a large hurry. Top it off with repeated such a thing 23 times. I went up the stairs in a tragic countenance, such as get like take off completely the teeth. At the building I was also a dentist. Had a look at it? The building across the street was a young gentleman who was hanging out at the window. You to come alone. Do not likely that person. But, if you become worse even in the mood, is not raised the company up to the house. In less enough. Joe is a bright red face. Came cage over the stairs as it was to painful eye as something amazing. Young gentleman, but was none other than Rory. The constant has gone too far by Choi to lower the head. I was asked by folding the rear immediately. It was very painful. It was not even a kind. Early Sunday. A great deal. Yes, it worked. Quote, why did you go alone? I did not want to be known in the sauce. I'm much changed. You, so, what this did pull out? Miss? But I watched him in the face because the meaning is not known to say of Rory. Notice startled, laughed and so engrossing. I want you to take off too, not have to wait a week. And what are you laughing? Is have been naughty something, Joe? Anna, what did Rashi you doing in the ball to woo? Habak arena gara, not a ball to woo. And was the gym. I have learned swordsmanship. Well, I'm happy. Quote, why? If more Eru thing. So you tell me when to do the next time Hamlet. Because Yareru Anna Riatasu. Is that great swordsmanship of play with two people Yareru? Since Rory began to wipe passers-by, it was retrospective 23 people. I'll tell you. But good anyhow is Hamlet. I funny. Body is all right, do it. But it just. You. Well, I'm happy. But I do not think when and Nani strongly. I do so. The Anta was glad it was not in the ball to woo. Anta go for? So much. I do not go. You'd better not go. I do not do anything bad. In the house of the ball collision. Boring without a good opponent. So, sometimes said, and Ned Mavoto. I do with the other guys. You I do not want. Become more and more love. And to waste the money of the time. Will I become a child that does not go? I want you to have in a well-behaved man, if not drop the goods. I wonder should not be a sometimes funny play? It wa by the play method and basho. Ned guys. I hate. I better not dating. I have wants to come to the house. Wilt thou so it's not repellent mom? You. If that person like, I will not play with you as before. Mom. Quote, Rory was good. Now, will I know sentence my name Saint. Shinpei say, I Saint. I want you to become a man of honest goods. Like a son of the king of the house. Has a lot money. Or drunk. Or to the gambling. At length, the name of the father was running away from home it speaks. And until something counterfeit is scary. Quote, I'm think you do that? Thank you very much. Ridiculous. But because money has heard the terrible temptation. You are the poor. I sometimes think that I also do not worry. 'Cause you, or was sometimes moody, or was stubborn from, once peeled toward that once wrong. I think is difficult to hold back. Quote, yes, of us have worried so much. Rory was walking fell silent for a while. Miss? But I thought I wonder too little say. Eventually, Rory I am going to preach until you return to the house? No, why? If you're going to preach, to get on my bus. You do not walk together. I'll let that very interesting. Do not. So, let the news. Sure, this is a secret. When I say it's useless to say yours as well. It is not something I secret. Miss, as I said, I think that even in their own there is a secret. Was thrush mouth suddenly. There will be. Bad I was in, may leave quickly confessed. Have to say, I also do not say. Interesting your secret that, even with the funny, that of people who know you well. Because it is a secret that you must know. I have been itching to tell. Now, it is from you. Miss cannot say to people in the house that you do not tease just in case pushes the oil. Well for me it came at a novel too. To the man of the newspaper. Then, next week answer is thereof. And, whispered to the other ear. Rory and the name is High March Ms. Bonsai. To America. Throwing a hi-hat screaming. I caught it. So was walking the other suburbs. It was pleasing and the two birds of geese. and 4 of cats, and 5 chickens. The Irish children of 6 people. I do not come something reply. This means that, because I did not want even to disappoint the sauce of did not say, Nani. Okay, what you write. Much is written by Shakespeare. Think you are worth. That's nice once you become a print. Quote. Joe once said so, was delighted. Praise to friends is not good. So, please say to what sweetie fair me your secret. One would say, that to become might be I. But troubled, do not accustomed care if you do not say is raccoony. I know that I, whereabouts of Meg Pieces Poe gloves. It once and for all? So far, so enough, if you tell it where it is. Rory has whispered 3 words in the jaws of the ear. Jaw in their words, standing erect with surprise and unpleasant facial expressions, began to walk from to find the face of Rory. Why are you no? I saw in the pocket. Even all the way now? Yeah, not that romantic? No, I'm scared. I do not like. Ridiculous. I irresistible. Meg's sister, I wonder if I say. It is not said to be in the sauce. It was said because I trust you. It does not say for the time being. But no was it. I should be me Kakashi. I thought you are pleased. That to you, who comes to outbrought Meg. I do you rejoice. Oh, I and does not agree with sex is what I secret. Because what you hear you do that. Feeling it had been crumpled. Quote. When Joda says ish dissatisfaction, Rory is. Let's descend to compel the hill. That way, the feeling is refreshing. Without people cage it is around. Had become slope as flat roads lead. Miss began to run. Dropped hat heather gray. Disheveled hair. Was shine the eyes. There was no longer dissatisfied color. And when was I hoarse? I come to pick up things among the good air of so pleasant. Will not cut the breath no matter how much over. Oh, was interesting. But, that was the funny cuckoo. Of I dropped. Joe was sitting under a tree of maple that are scattered with autumn leaves. Then, it fixes the hair. Rory the meantime, although we went to pick the lost article of the jaw, to visit the Meg of collar there, dressed in fine clothes, and precocious like a lady, was Tori Kakari. I did run, when will, such a tomboy encircle, taking a ear, stiff the body. It does not stop until they make a crutch. I hate to adult treatment. Her sister is. I hard to see that has changed suddenly. At least forever just me leave this child. Quote.